Hi everyone again. My name is Aisha. I'm a freshman at Harvard and I'm studying CS and Stats with a secondary in government. Um, Outside of school, I went to Kenya High, and outside of school, I like to swim and I'm an artist, I guess. So that's like the introduction of who I am as a person. I'm here mostly to talk about just random pieces of like lessons that I learned throughout the process and stuff like that. And I don't know what Shadon has been talking about for the past 1 hour, so maybe I might repeat some stuff, but um, if I do, just consider it more emphasis on the same topic or something like that. So I guess the first lesson I would mention would be about it not being a guarantee. Like a lot of people apply to different school early action and early decision and expect to get in that moment. But sometimes you might have to go to regular decision. Sometimes you might also have to do the next applicant cycle. And like it's normal for you. Rejections are normal. They're not any personal, they're not personal in some capacity. Like I'm pretty sure many people will tell you stories about getting into one school and getting rejected from a different school, and you're like, well, if this school got you in, how come you didn't get into all of the other schools? Because the application must be spectacular in some capacity. And the truth is, like, no rejection, no acceptance is personal. It's just about how well you fit with the school and stuff like that. Which is why, like, I'd like people to spend time to figure out where they feel like they'd fit best. Like research on schools. I feel like investing on researching on schools is such a positive thing. Most of the times, most mentors will tell you that they ended up in places where they found they really fit in. And it's crazy because before you didn't know as much. Like I didn't like Harvard as much as I did once I got in. But right now I can honestly say if I could go back, I would choose it as my ED. You get? So it's like they know you more than sort of you know yourself. So don't just choose schools based on like which one is prestigious, which one is this and that. Choose schools where you see yourself being for 4 years because upon utaka like for 4 years of your life, that's where you'll be studying, that's where you'll be doing like your life essentially. So choose something that is important to you at that time. Um, I would say that the journey is like hard and like it takes time to sort of figure out what you want to do, even in terms of like studying, even in terms of what major you plan on applying with. So I think the best advice I would always give is to figure out yourself. Because okay, part of the application is the personal statement and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't really have a personal statement in mind. Like it's okay not to have a personal statement because like sometimes hakuna kitu that important ilifanyika in your life or something like that. But like because of that, a lot of people end up like writing stories that have been written before. You'll see someone's personal statement and you're like, oh my God, this is so well written. Let me write one that is similar or like something that is going along the same lines. But the truth is like kila mtu, everyone akona, sorry, I don't know why I'm mixing tongues. Everyone has like a specific and unique occurrence that happened in their life, and it's just about taking your time to figure out how well you can write it and stuff like that. So yeah, so essentially the whole application process is a really personal process. Try your best to figure out yourself. If you can't convince yourself why you're applying to a certain school, then you won't be able to convince the AOs why you're applying to that school. You get? So like I think I don't know how many times I've repeated it, but like be as specific, be as personal as possible, do introspection and stuff like that. And then the other stuff is logistics. We have like the SAT, we have what else do we have? We have the SAT majority of the time and like the recommendations from your teachers and stuff like that. And I'd say start working on it early enough. Like as much as people might say like you don't really have to do as much for the SAT and stuff like that, I would honestly advocate for people doing the SAT. It isn't a guarantee as well. Like I got the same score as someone else and that person didn't really get into any school, even though it was like a high score. And I remember what I'm trying to say is that it's not really a guarantee in any capacity. And I would still say start studying for it early enough so you don't have to spend actual time at that time applying and stuff like that. Um, Also, this is such a good investment for your applications. It's a lot of people do need like admission admission aid while they're like applying to schools. So like choosing a program that is run by people who are at large colleges in the US is honestly such a huge plus for you guys. So I'm hopeful that it might be like a positive experience for you. And then I think the last thing I would talk about is like financial aid. I don't know whether you know the logistics yet, but like a lot of schools do give need-based financial aid. It's not about your merits and stuff like that. So like your only goal should be to get into school. Once you've gotten into a school, then the rest can be easily like done for or something like that. I think that's all for me today. I'll meet some of you in like section, and I'm hopeful that like I'll be able to help. And also if you have any questions right now, you can ask. I'll answer them. Yeah.
Thank you, Aisha. Also, my request for you is to like leave your LinkedIn on the chat, so that those who want to connect with you later on can do so. I think LinkedIn is better than your phone number, I guess. So LinkedIn is fine, if you're okay with that. Any
Actually,
question?
on LinkedIn. I'm sorry.
You're not on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
I think
Very
you can contact me via by mobile or email and stuff like that. I'll try my best for my profile soon, and maybe we'll be able to meet then.
yeah. But I have her number, so if you really have something like you want to ask about Harvard, or we can have her later, maybe later on in the program next month or sometime like that. Um, there'll be more opportunities to connect with her. Any questions for her before we end our session? Ulizeni maswali. Aisha ako Harvard. Hata mimi naweza uliza swali, how can I get into Harvard grad school? I'm just kidding.
Pardon?
Zinaambia watu like uko Harvard na wataki kuuliza maswali. I would ask.
Why I
It's
can't
not
hear
every
you.
day you meet a Harvard graduate student.
Could you please repeat that? I don't know why your voice was breaking up.
Hello. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was telling them to ask questions
Oh,
because not every day you meet a Harvard student. So,
yes.
any questions though? For real, seriously, no questions. Is anyone typing? Oh, someone is asking about the SAT score. And also, Kimberly has her hands raised.
Okay. My ACT score was a 1540. At the time, it was a big deal. It might not be a big deal right now, but it was a big deal then. Um, how did you enter Harvard? I applied through. I actually didn't apply. I didn't apply early. I applied through regularization, and yeah, I applied through regularization, and I got in like in March and stuff like that. But I would say, like honestly, like as much as nilingia huku nilirejectiwa by shule zingine, so like that's what I keep on like mentioning, that your school doesn't choose you based on, it's not a personal thing, it's a like a best fit thing. I didn't know I would actually end up going here. So like at the time, like they saw something in my application that made me look like I would fit in here. Not that I was like the perfect student to like or something like that. It was just that I could fit in here with the ecosystem well. My number, Raiden has my number, and I think he'll share it in the group of mentees, I guess. Does the student visa allow you to work while studying? Yes. For 20 hours a week, I think that's the limit for F1 visas. What do you think made your application stand out? I would say my application stood out because it was personal. Like, okay, I don't know how many times I feel like I'm going to say this, but like I applied to Yale early decision. I got deferred and then waitlisted from Yale. But I got when the decisions for regular decision are coming out, I had applied to like around 17 schools, I think. And I remember like all the big schools came out very late in March, like around 28th of March and stuff like that. And like throughout the beginning of March, smaller schools would come out with their acceptances. And I remember like I got rejections from like small schools that I had not even thought would reject me. And I kept thinking like, sasa kama hizi shule ndogo zimenikata, like which big school is going to actually take me? And I remember when the big schools came out, I happened to get like enough acceptances, and I kept thinking, um, like it's not about how well you stand out, like it's not about how well you do your work, it's about how well you might fit with that ecosystem there. As much as niliingia huku nili waitlistiwa Yale, as much as niliingia huku nilirejectiwa that then someone else would have gotten in with their application. It's not about how perfect you are in your application, but rather like how well you apply and stuff, like how well you showcase yourself and how well you might fit into the schools. Did you get financial aid? Yes, I think Harvard and a lot of Ivies, actually all the Ivies um are need-based financial aid, and essentially they'd pay for you once you get in. What were your extracurriculars tied to? Okay, were they tied to your career choice or were they diverse? I think there are 10 activities on your list. I did around six that are tied to, like I applied with math, so I did around six of them that are tied to math and like statistics and stuff like that. And then the remaining four were like sports, music, drama, foreign languages, um, and stuff like that. So I think you can do a mix of both. How many schools did I apply to? I applied to, I think, around 17 total schools. I think I did like all the Ivies except Brown, a lot of the top tier colleges, and a few liberal arts college, small liberal arts colleges. How long did the application take? I think everyone's application takes the whole of like the gap year. Like for you guys, it might take until November. So when you're applying in November, you have until then to perfect your application and stuff like that. And even then, you can still keep working on it so that when regular decision comes you in January next year, you also like apply well. I think those are all. What did you get in, like, in my KCC? I got an A, an A. Yeah, I got an A. I'm assuming those are all the questions. The schools I got into are wait, I can't even remember them now. Give me like a second. Oh yeah, I got into Harvard, I got into Princeton, um, Stanford, Columbia, Northwestern, Johns Hopkins, Amherst, and Williams. Yeah. Do you work as you read or how often? You have 20 hours a week to work maximum in your like F1 visa. You have okay, we often have like 168 hours a week, I think. 7 times 24, 168 hours a week. So essentially, or a certain number like that. 168 hours a week, you have 20 of them to work. So the rest of the time you're going to be studying and stuff like that. During the breaks, you might work full time and you'll be allowed to work on full time with your visa. Yeah. Yes, even as an undergrad. I think there are no other questions. If there are, you can send them right now. And then I have to have a class in like 20 minutes.
Okay. Aisha, thank you so much. I think if you have more questions, you can contact her, I believe. But I will have to stop there. Release Aisha to tend to her duties.